What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great day. It is official. Connor Riley is now a part of the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff. He has officially been hired. This was the offensive coordinator that actually worked with Deuce Vaughn and Cooper Beebe and has been an outstanding coach. And a lot of people think that this is a great hire for the Cowboys. And you know, it's funny because making some crab bisque soup right now. It's funny because listening to a lot of the talking heads and a lot of the guys that have been talking about the Cowboys and a lot of the former players that are all really kind of pissed about the Cowboys, and they're tired of losing. They're tired of not being at the Super Bowl, except to talk about 30 years ago. They've been killing the Cowboys for the way it's been run, and I think that is a legitimate gripe that we should hold Jerry Jones accountable and look at him at everything he does with a side eye and just not accept that automatically everything that he says is going to be correct. But whether you are a Brian Schottenheimer fan or not, whether you believe this is a good hire or not, in the end, it doesn't matter because he is now our coach. He's our coach, along with all the guys that they're hiring right now. That this is going to be the organization that we have going forward for at least a year or two or three or possibly four, if all goes well. But I actually believe that in some regards, we've talked about some of the coaches that we've had where we've looked at some of the coaches we've had in the past that just have not been really good coaches. See, you know, just because you're an NFL coach doesn't mean you're necessarily a good one. You know, there was Paul Alexander, who was the offensive line coach that we got from Cincinnati, for example. Let's use him for an example. Paul Alexander's whole thing, because this is I will remember this till the day I die. But Paul Alexander had a IQ test for offensive linemen, and what it was is he would give them a bottle of ketchup, a brand new bottle of ketchup. You know, he'd take them out to lunch, I guess, and give them the bottle of ketchup, and he would see how they got the ketchup out the bottle. And the thing is, there's a secret to it. If you have a bottle of ketchup, if you turn it on its side and you tap the 57, the number, just gently tap, it creates an air bubble that'll go into it, and it'll help force the ketchup to come out real nice and easy. Bet you didn't know that. And if you didn't know that, you couldn't play offensive line for him. Yeah. So that literally was one of the things that he looked at. Paul Alexander was the ketchup bottle test. Well, here's the thing. How many of y'all have actually a ketchup bottle in your refrigerator? I bet most of y'all have a squeeze bottle. And so that method of determining the intelligence of an offensive lineman doesn't fit if you're not using a bottle. It was kind of like Sanjay Lau we had for a wide receiver coach back, I think, when Cole Beasley was here. His thing was, let's carry bricks. We're going to have the players carrying bricks after practice. So in training camp, they get 8x8 bricks, and they're walking around carrying those. And the idea was to strengthen the hands. But see, here's what I can tell you from doing brickwork here at the Red Brick House. The brick actually dries out your hands. And after a while, you start kind of getting carpal tunnel syndrome. and it doesn't work real good. In fact, it gets to be kind of painful. And so I don't know that that was exactly the best coaching that we had. And we got rid of the Paul Alexander, and they brought back Marco Colombo. And see, with Paul Alexander, the offensive line, guys that were all pros like Tyron Smith and Zach Martin and Travis Frederick were completely lost and befuddled. They didn't know what the hell was up. And Marco Colombo coming back and putting back in some of the things that they had done in the past with the players really knew what they were doing, they went back to being a really good offensive line. And that's where coaching matters. And I think that we have to, at this point, get beyond right now that Schotty's our coach. And, people will say, like Des Bryant said, who is this guy? He doesn't have any experience. Well, you don't have experience until you do. You could look and say Jimmy Johnson didn't have experience in the NFL until he did. Right? He didn't have experience in college until he actually did the job. And I dare say that sometimes you have a guy who's been in there and has been part of making the sausage for a number of years, because we've been down the route where we've had guys that didn't have any experience. Jason Garrett, because Jason Garrett was an quarterback's coach for 1 year, and then became our offensive coordinator for a year, and then became our head coach. I could see if that was your point right there, that he didn't have any experience. But Brian Schottenheimer has been an offensive coordinator for a long time with a lot of different coaches, and so he's seen a lot of different things on how the sausage is made. And I think we need to at least give him the benefit of the doubt on how he's going to make the sausage. For Emmitt, who's saying, we don't run the football, we don't have a plan. How do we know that Schottenheimer doesn't have a plan? His father was truly a run guy. You cannot say Marty Schottenheimer and not think about Christian Okoye and Barry Word, that 1-2 punch that literally were some of the biggest running backs I've ever seen, and that constantly ran the football. That's his dad. And he's been a guy, Emmitt, who has had the leading rushing team when he's been the offensive coordinator. So to say he doesn't know how, that's a really big misnomer. And I think we got to give the guy a chance. And maybe Genty is the reason that you changed this up. But, I'll go back with Emmitt Smith later, because he's done quite a few of them. But his thing is we don't know what to do with the people we have. We had Dak, we were just slinging the football all over the place. We get Cooper Rush, then we start using the running game. And he is exactly right on that. What we need to do is not overly throw the football. Josh Allen became MVP last night with under 4,000 yards passing, and came one game away from the Super Bowl. So it's not like you look and say, oh, we're going to run the football, we're just going to get rid of Dak. No, you need both. And if anything, Emmitt, you should recognize that you were part of the triplets, a quarterback who only threw 20 touchdown passes 1 year, with a great Hall of Fame wide receiver in Michael Irvin, a great tight end in Jay Novacek, and the NFL's all-time leading rusher, you. And they figured it out. Alrighty, got to get back to my crab bisque here that I'm making. And if you want to know how I do this, check out Cooking and Tailgating with Joe Boo. Peace.